Co-living and pad split are becoming very, very popular. Co-living is where you're renting out various rooms in your home or in a property as opposed to renting an apartment or as opposed to renting an entire home. Now with co-living, we have members, not tenants. So we have members paying us weekly rent. There's not tenants, it's not a monthly thing, so it's very much landlord friendly. If you're an investor looking into co-living, or maybe you are like, you know what, I'd like to buy a home, but I'd like someone else to help me with the mortgage, which that's called house hacking. So I would like to learn more about co-living. This video is for you. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. What is co-living? How do I find members to rent my rooms? Can I do the Burr method on this? And how does it actually work? Let's jump into it. So co-living is where you're getting a property or a home and you're renting room by room. The most successful way to do it is to add more room to the home. So if you have a 4-bedroom home with a 2-car garage, you may want to convert the garage into 2 other bedrooms, and you may want to convert the living or the family room into another room. Because with co-living, you really just need the hallway, a laundry room, the kitchen, and a small gathering area, maybe a dining room area or a small gathering area, so the people that's renting the room could have access to that particular area. In the kitchen, you want to have individual pantry per room or individual cabinets per room. And by the way, we also have builders building properties for co-living only. So they're building the properties where every bedroom has its own bathroom. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is you could buy a home and renovate it and then refinance. So you could do the Burr method. So you buy the property and you reconfigure the property. What do I mean by that? You're reconfiguring the property so each bedroom has its own bathroom. And also some bedrooms may have their own entryway. So they have their own entrance coming in, they don't have to go through the direct front door. And also you want to have a coin operated washer and dryer. Why? Because a lot of people, if it's not coin operated, they're going to be doing laundry a lot. So you don't want that. So you want to make sure that each laundry area has its own coin operated washer and dryer. Okay, that's the ultimate guide. Now, what's the location of the property? The location should be a commuter friendly location. So it's got to be near public buses, public transportation, or right next to a big employment area, maybe next to an Amazon warehouse, maybe next to a Walmart or Sam's, next to a shopping mall, a shopping center. You want to have a commuter friendly location. That way they know where to go. Now stick around to the end, guys, because at the end of this video, I am going to share with you what the ultimate co-living property would look like. Now, why would I do co-living as opposed to just renting out the particular home? Because you're going to be making more money when you do co-living, because you're renting room by room. Plus, it's going to be landlord friendly because you're doing members and they're paying it weekly. They're paying their rent weekly. So there's no such thing as a 1-year lease, a 6-year lease, none of that stuff, which is why you cannot be in an HOA community. Make sure you are not in a HOA community. Make sure that overnight parking is not a restriction on the public road, because you may not have enough driveway space for people to park on your driveway. And obviously you're going to be converting your garage. That's why this is not a HOA friendly module. You need to have a smart lock on every door. And guess what? I made a list for you. So in this video, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a list. That way I don't forget nothing at all. Let's cut into the kitchen. There are a few things you shouldn't have in the kitchen and you should have in the kitchen. First of all, you do not want to have a refrigerator with an ice and water dispenser, because those things break way too often. So you want to have just a regular refrigerator. It doesn't have an ice or water dispenser. You do not need or want a dishwasher. So the dishwasher is going to be gone. So you're not going to use a dishwasher. Because why? Because nobody's going to wait for a full load to run the dishwasher. It's going to be a lot of chaos with the dishwasher. Just get rid of it. Garbage disposal, you do not want a garbage disposal because those breaks too easily and people don't know how to use them. And they're going to put bones and potatoes and God knows what else in there that's going to cause it to clog. And that's going to be a call out. So you don't want to have that. Get rid of the garbage disposal. You do not want to have a glass top stove either, because the glass top stove is going to break and all kind of stuff is going to happen. You want to have the coil electrical stove. And you only want electric in the kitchen. You want nothing to do with gas. You want electrical hot water heaters. You want electrical stove. And you also want each room to have its own kitchen, its own cabinet space. So if you're building from scratch, the builders will build a pantry per room. If not, you could just have a lock on each cabinet door and assign it to the room you want it in. By the way, guys, my name is Sandy, and my team and I would love to help you find the perfect location and property if you're looking into co-living. Just give us a call, send us a text, or schedule a Zoom call with us. Our information should be below, and we will help you to find the perfect property to do your co-living in. Another thing you don't want to do when it comes to co-living, you want no carpet. You want to take all the carpet out of the property. You only want to use luxury vinyl or tiles. No carpet of any kind. That's too much problems. Another thing is you need to have a cleaner that comes in once a week or once every 2 weeks to do the cleaning of all the common areas and the bathroom. If each bedroom has its own bathroom, then that's fine, because that's up to the person renting that room or the member renting that room. But you want to be able to clean all the common areas, and especially the kitchen. Or you could tell the members, if you want to use our cleaner to clean your room every other week or once a month when they come in, it's completely up to you. That's got to pay them directly. So that has nothing to do with you. I would suggest, if you're just starting out, to use a website like PadSplit. PadSplit is a website that you could put all your rooms for rent on their website. They will find the correct member for you. They will screen them as well. And they will do all the background check, all that great stuff. They do charge a fee, but I feel the fee is worth it because they will help you find the ultimate person to rent your property. We want to have at least 2 hot water heaters, especially if you have more than 6 rooms. If you have up to 6 rooms, 1 hot water heater might work, but you want to make sure you have maybe a 75-gallon. If you're doing more than 6 rooms, it's a bigger property, you may want to have 2 hot water heaters. That way you will never run out of hot water heater. The ideal co-living property is going to have a split AC per room. So if you're building from scratch, you want them to build a split AC per room. That way the member can regulate your own temperature and it's not coming from central air. But you can also have central air. That's not a problem. Make sure you lock the central air system, the thermostat, and make sure you set it to whatever you want, whether it be 72, 74, whatever that number is, and you lock it. But if you have a central AC system and you're doing a constant airflow for everyone, you want to have a ceiling fan in each bedroom. That way, if somebody wants to be cooler, they could turn the fan on and they'll be all set. Then you gotta decide if you want a furnished or unfurnished room. We find that furnished room does better because a lot of times these people are transitioning, right? Either they might be going through a divorce, or they're just starting out, or they're going to college, or what they want to do in life, or it's a senior citizen, they're retired. You want to make sure that you're given a furnished room because you have no idea where in life they're coming from. So you want to have at least a queen bed in each room if it's furnished. You want to have a 32-inch TV. If you're going to do PadSplit, they require you to have a desk and a chair in each bedroom so they could work from their desk or chair. You could also have a mini fridge and a mini microwave. Some investors don't like the idea of the mini fridge because they say they break down and they give too many problems, but that's completely up to you. If you're going to be using PadSplit to find your members, remember PadSplit do charge 12% plus whatever fees they charge. But at least you'll have the peace of mind, and they will give you a member that's been background checked and screen checked, and that's suitable for your home. Because if you went on PadSplit and you say, hey, I'm renting 6 different bedrooms, they're going to try to find people of like mind for those 6 bedrooms that you're going to be renting out. That's going to be super important. If you're going to be doing the BRRRR method, so you're going to buy, renovate, refinance, and repeat. If you're doing that, and let's say you have 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, an appraiser might not see that the way you're seeing it. So what you want to do is you don't want to have a built-in closet in every bedroom. You want to have a built-in closet in maybe 4 of the bedrooms, and then you could have 2 other rooms, which you're going to say they're 2 offices or office and a den. And then you're going to make a temporary closet in those bedrooms. That way, when the appraiser comes in to appraise your property, they're not seeing 6 bedrooms with 6 bathrooms, no living room, right? Only a kitchen and dining. It's going to puzzle the appraiser. So to keep that from happening, you're going to have built-in closet in 4 of the bedrooms, and 2 of the other bedrooms, you're going to have temporary closets, so they could see it as 4 bedrooms with a den and with an office. Most of the homes, you want to be in maybe a C and a D class neighborhood because you're looking for something with no HOA and with no issues of HOA telling you all these different rules. The more amenities that you're going to give these people, the better it is that they're going to stay. we find that the typical co-living member stays up to 8 months, believe it or not. So you want to have a minimum stay. I believe on PadSplit, you have to stay at least 3 months. I think that's what it is, for 3 months. But remember, you do not want to have a pool, guys. That's going to be too much of a liability. So no pool and absolutely no gas. Make everything electric. That way there's no issues with any gas spill or any of that stuff. If a member doesn't pay their rent within that week, you could get rid of them and get another member to take over that room. It's going to be super important. One thing that I see a lot of landlords or member owners, owners of these co-living neglect is the cleaning. You must have a cleaner go in maybe once or twice a month to clean the common areas, clean the kitchen. And if you have a shared bathroom, if they're sharing a bathroom, then you need to have that bathroom cleaned as well. Now, what about maintenance? I don't want to get the 4 a.m. call, whatever it is. If you're using PadSplit, and I have no affiliation with PadSplit, I'm just letting you know. If you use the PadSplit website, they're able to go in and put in a ticket. Or if you have a software program that you're using, that each member, if there's an issue, just go in on this software, log in here with your own username and password, and put what the situation is. What is it that you're complaining about? What is it that needs to be done? The refrigerator isn't cooling correctly. Something isn't working. The washer isn't working. Whatever the situation, I'm not getting hot water, whatever it is. That's the reason why you want to have 2 hot water tank, or at least a 75 gallon, because you know how it is. You're renting rooms and some people are going to take the 1 hour hot shower. Yes, you're going to have house rules, but you're always not going to follow them. And you do not want to run out of hot water. That's going to be super duper important. You absolutely must give them high-speed internet, at least 1 gigabyte. So you want high-speed internet. And if you're going to be given the 32-inch TV in each room, then they could log on to whatever streaming channel that they watch, and then they could do their own streaming, whether it be Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is that they're going to be using. That's not going to be on you. Now, what's the difference between co-living and short-term renting? The difference is with co-living, you're going to have longer stays members. So the members are going to be staying longer. They're going to be renting the room for quite a few weeks, as opposed to with short-term rental, they're going to be renting for a short period of time. With short-term rental, you're going to have more up-to-date appliances. You have to have a garbage disposal, a dishwasher, all that great stuff. With co-living, you don't want to have that situation because you don't want them to be calling you when all these different things are breaking down. So you'll have less call out with co-living. You'll have more call out with a guest. A guest, you got to have to give better service to as far as hospitality. So on the short-term rental side, you're going to give more hospitality treatment. On the member side for co-living, it's a co-living situation. They're renting a room. Hospitality is not going to play a role. It's going to be more of a tenant situation, even though they are not tenants. So there's a lot of differences. So if you just want to, you don't want to do short-term rental, I don't want to deal with Airbnb guests or short-term rental guests and all the hospitality stuff. I just want to be able to rent my room, collect my rent each week, then co-living would be the way to go. In our area, we're seeing people getting anywhere from $200 to $300 per week per room. This is based upon the amenities that you put in the room. Do they have their own entrance? Do they have their own bathrooms? Do they have their own AC system? All that great stuff. So that's how that works. As I promised you, at the end of the video, I will give you the ultimate guide for the perfect co-living situation to get the most return. Remember, if you want any further information, please remember, guys, we're a local real estate agent that does a lot of co-living, and we would love to either find you a builder that could build you a co-living property, or find a property that you'll be able to add rooms to or convert into a true co-living situation where each bedroom have its own bathroom. So what is the list? Here we go. You want to have a location that's commuter friendly, that's close to public transportation. You want to use C or D communities. Those are the best, that gives you the most return. You want to make sure that the size of the home should be 1,700 to 2,200 square feet. That's your sweet spot. You could also do 1,500 to 1,700 square feet, but you probably do not want to go under 1,500 square feet because you're looking for a home that's going to give you as much room as possible, so you could build out as many rooms as you can. You definitely want to maybe have 2 bedroom per bathroom, 2 bedroom per 1 bathroom. So some people I've seen 9 rooms with 3 bathrooms and all that great stuff. Definitely want to check into your municipality to see how many people are allowed to live in a particular home that are unrelated. So you could either Google that. You could say, hey, Google, how many people are allowed to live that are unrelated in a home in Claremont, Florida, and Google will tell you. You want to make sure you're following the rules of the area that you're in. Of course, if you're going to be converting the garage, you want to make sure you do this legally, and you could put 2 other bedrooms and a bathroom in there, or maybe a bedroom or a bathroom. It is up to you if you want to provide bed sheets and comforters and pillows. I see some investors that's just completely provide the sheets, the pillows, all that great stuff. That's going to be up to you. But you want to make sure you have at least a queen bed, a desk and a chair, a 32-inch TV, a ceiling fan if they don't have control over their own AC. And you also want to have a gathering area, whether it be a big dining room or a family room. You want to have a dining room, a dining table, a few chairs, and a couch or something, or a couch or something that they could just chill out in. Maybe 2 people might like each other and they want to talk, or whatever the situation is. You must have a smart lock on every door, so every door is going to have a code for them to get in and out of their own room. You want to make sure the front door also has a code, so if they don't pay their rent and you got to get rid of a member, that's it. Remember that they are members paying into a membership, guys. They are not tenants. It's a whole other different ball game here. We don't have tenants to evict. We have members, and when members don't pay, we get rid of the member and we get a new member. If you're thinking of co-living, house hacking, PadSplit, any of that stuff, if you want to go in that direction, we'll help you. If you want to buy a home and you want to have one section to yourself and rent the rest of the rooms out, we can also help you with that, guys. That's what we do. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.